Hey guys, it's Pierre from Live Auto Customs, and today we're going to be showing you guys how to remove rear tint from the windshield, the ones that have the defroster lines on them that are easily damaged. You may want to remove this rear tint for a number of reasons. Usually it's because it's old, and when it gets old, it starts changing color, cracking, peeling, fading. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it. We'll show you the tools that you need to get started doing this. All right, so here's what you're gonna need. We're gonna need a low pressure or high pressure steamer. Kind of depends on the scenario. I like the high pressure because if you get any of those little pieces stuck on, it'll shoot them right off for you. You're gonna want a spray bottle with water and baby shampoo in it. So this way, if you have to scrape any glue off, you could use that as like a lubricant for the glass. I like to have some alcohol afterwards just to wipe the window down once it's all said and done. We have some quadruple 0 grade steel wool here to scrub the window down of any residue that is left behind from the tint. A couple of towels that you wouldn't mind throwing away because they're probably going to be covered in glue. And then we do have a piece of clay here. I like to go over the defroster lines or just the whole window once I'm done with it. And we have the plastic scraper. I mean, this isn't really going to do much. They sell these in a lot of kits, but I think the steel wool ends up doing a lot more for me. The steel wool and high pressure steamer combo. But one thing you definitely do not want to use on the back window, especially if it has defroster lines, is a metal razor like this one, because you will take off all the defroster lines and it'll end up looking something like this. So you don't want to do that. Save these for the side windows and front windshields that don't have defroster lines. All right, now here comes the fun part. First thing you wanna do is get that steamer, plug it in for about 10 to 15 minutes, let it warm up. Once you have that ready, you're ready to roll. So once you have your steamer plugged in and ready to go, usually I like to let off that first couple warning shots because they're gonna be very packed. And then once you do that, I like to work in quadrants on the window, so I'll kind of split it into 4 quadrants. And then I'll work on one side and just kind of work my way around. I like to go from like left to right, top to bottom. It doesn't matter which way. I just like to stick to one of those on the window and then just go with it. Now this is a easier scenario because it is a hatchback. If this was a car like an M4 coupe or like an M8 coupe or one of those C-Class coupes, it's gonna be a little harder to work back there. So keep that in mind. On some cars like VWs or Hondas, you do have to remove the actual rear deck lid to get to the glue behind it sometimes, but that's for another video. Let's stick to the hatch scenario. So we're gonna grab our steamer, give it a couple warning sprays, and just get to work. What hitting it with the steamer first like that is doing is softening the glue just a little bit, warming it up. And then after I've done the whole glass real quick, I like to just go back to that one quadrant. You have a couple options. On a window like this one, I could see the edge of the tint pretty easily, so I could just grab my finger and start cutting it. Or another way is you could grab one of those razor blades that I said to never use on the back window in one of the areas that don't have any defroster lines. So like this top 1/3 doesn't really have defroster lines, so you could create a little hole in there, stick your steamer in, and then for the sake of today's video, we're gonna go ahead and try both ways. So I'm gonna try the fingernail way first, and if that doesn't work, let's cut it up. All right, I'll be right back with that thing I said to never use on the back window. This is what a defroster line is. All right, these things right here. As you can see, in this portion of the window, there is no defroster lines. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab that razor that I said to never use back here, poke a tiny little hole, make sure you get both membranes, because sometimes the tint is 2-plied and you only get one, and then, yeah, don't even get me started on that one. Once you made that tiny rip, I'll usually just grab my steamer and so once you get that first corner kind of peeled and lifted, it's very important to make sure you're getting both parts of the tint like this. You see how I'm not just leaving behind like a clear layer, or you want to make sure you're getting the whole thing. All right, so now with one hand, you're gonna wanna hold the steamer against the edge of where you're peeling and just peel nice and slow. Make sure you're not getting any defrosters. We're going left to right this time. So when I tell you guys hold the edge, I'm holding the camera right now, but with one hand, I'd be holding this side of the tint. With the other, I'm in here, spraying away and peeling down. And as you can see, I mean, you'll know if it's glue if you could scratch it. Here, let's let it focus. So you see how I'm kind of scratching it off? That's how you know it's just the glue being left behind. That's a lot of glue, mind you. But I'll show you guys how to take care of that. One step at a time. Let's get the rest of this tint off. So we got all the tint off. Not every situation is as ideal as this one. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. This was definitely on the easier side of removal, but it did leave behind a bunch of glue. So I will show you guys how to clean up the window so this way you could see out of it now. So what you're gonna wanna do is get that window and just spray it down. So once you've sprayed down that back window with soap and water, I like to let it sit for a couple of minutes just to let that glue keep softening up. So once I get my steel wool and start scrubbing, it just comes off like butter. So once the glass has marinated with the water a little bit, we're gonna grab our steel wool and we're just going to scrub the glue off like that. But this is literally it right here. You just come to the glass, and then you just, I don't know why this is like really sticky glue. But yeah, you'll see it's just a matter of scraping and patience and getting everything off. This is the way that you ensure that you don't mess up these little defroster lines right here. But I know it sucks, but this is the way you want to do it if you don't want to mess up those defroster lines. So I'm gonna get to scrubbing. And you might need more than one piece of steel wool, especially in the case like this, where the glue is just so thick and so sticky. Like, it's making my fingers sticky. Look at how sticky it is. It's sticking to the window. Like, that's crazy. All right, guys, so this piece literally is like crusted solid. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a fresh one. But as you can see, we're almost done with that back window. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray it down again, let it soak, and grab a fresh piece. We'll catch you guys back on the back glass. After many scrubs later, you could see that there's still some glue left in like a couple different areas. Like right there, you could see there's like a little speck right there, little speck right there. That's nothing that some glass cleaner and a glass towel can't fix. So let's get some glass cleaner, get some glass towel, start spraying it down, and she will look like this once you're all done. Check it out, guys. No more glue. You can see out of the back window now. And that is how you untint and clean up that rear windshield from all the old tint residue. You can go ahead and just leave it like that if you guys aren't gonna go ahead and tint it. If you are gonna tint it, I would recommend cleaning it like 110% because you're gonna see some imperfections when you install that new tint on there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. We're gonna go ahead and retint this window in our next video. So we'll catch you guys on that one. Thank you guys so much for watching.